guys live together? It was a while.
Ooh. And I would tell you though, I'm sorry?
It was a few years.
Yeah, it was. I would say probably upwards of like 4 years, something like that.
Yeah,
maybe 5. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
We had some
But-
good times in that apartment.
Oh yeah, we had amazing times. And that being said though, and I think that this kind of goes into the aspect of knowing there's more out there. So Chris and I call him Kenny, but Kenny and
Where
I
did that come? Oh.
yeah, long story,
Oh,
but
yeah, I think I
actually
remember
not
that
that long.
story.
It's
But
not that
Probably
long
need to
story.
figure that out. We
No,
probably need
I
to
know
say.
I know the story. I could say it. I mean,
I would love to hear
Yeah.
it because
Yeah, so-
I call you Kenny Chris sometime.
So we were out one day. We were in what's that place in Tampa? By the water, downtown Tampa,
Oh, Armature.
Channelside.
Channelside. So
Okay.
we were out at
Yeah.
Channelside, and we were
Back when Channelside was popping.
yeah, when
Now
it was
it's
popping.
Sparkman's Wharf.
So we were out with
Yeah.
our buddy Brian, right? And this was a long.
I remember that guy.
This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, this is when I was young and I was slimmer and more fit and like
Whatever.
the
You're
big-
fit now,
talking
dude.
about?
You look
Yeah.
great.
I had the
You
big
You look
afro
great.
going. I had the clean shaven face. And people actually called me Lenny Kravitz, right?
Yeah,
I can see that. I can see that, bro. Especially now.
When he had these black aviators on,
Yeah.
bro.
Black aviators,
Seriously.
big afro, and
It's like a
I
panty
weighed
dropper.
like 150 pounds or something like
Wow.
that. I was a very thin guy.
Wow.
And I had the old school, like I used to wear like the flared out jeans and like the tight t-shirts and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So people call me Lenny Kravitz.
And the boots,
And the boots and the cowboy
And the
Oh,
boots.
you was
Yeah.
wearing boots too?
for
I
real.
got cowboy
Yo,
boots. I
this
got
man is
several
awesome.
Dude had
pairs.
style.
Yo.
Well, he still does, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah. It's more casual now, but
yeah.
I think it was probably a year before I even knew that your real name was Chris.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he
Yeah,
just
that name it persisted. So what happened
Hmm.
was we were in Channelside and Brian was there, our buddy Brian, and so we walked into a bar and there's a guy, he's playing guitar and he's doing a solo show, and he looks over as we're walking in. And he goes, "Hey, everybody, look over there. It's Lenny Kravitz." So he screws it up, right? He tries to make a joke. He screws it up. Ryan looks at me and he goes, "Your name's Kenny from now on."
Oh, wow.
You're Kenny Lavitz. And so he just kept calling me Kenny.
Wow.
And it caught on. Every time he
Dude.
introduced me to someone or we were talking in conversation, he would refer to me as Kenny.
yeah. It's been years now too.
Nice to finally know that story. I had
Yeah.
no idea because we would always like talk about it, and then you guys would laugh and then move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's it's like one of those things like that long-term friendship, right?
Yeah.
So you just
cool,
kind of
man.
build those
Yeah.
things that you just assume that people
It
know.
was over
Yeah.
it was over 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long
It
time.
was like 15, maybe 13 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Wow.
So-
Amber, have you met this gentleman Brian?
Oh, we don't need to get into that.
okay. We'll
leave
yeah.
that alone.
Okay, we'll leave Brian out of this.
Oh, can
I mean,
Do you really want to talk about it?
yeah. I mean, you
We can always
can.
edit this out if we
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
kidding.
so-
Yeah.
So my sister I'm from Nebraska, by the way. I don't know if you know that
I
or
did not know that. No.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'd been living here for a while, but I'm
Let me
in sales,
let me
so
jump in here real quick, just because this was a very important night of my life.
yes.
Um,
This is when he met the love of his life.
I
my
ended up
sister.
leaning over and I had told, because we were in downtown Dunedin at that point, and I ended up telling the guys that I was out with at that time, and I said, man, if I do anything tonight, I want to go and talk to that girl.
Wow. That's beautiful.
And then I was like, man, I got to build the courage up to go do this and be bold enough to look right, act right, and give the right message. And so anyway, that being said, I'm like, all right, let me go to the bathroom real quick, dismiss hopefully some of this ego, but build the courage, and then come back and just, get with the program.
Yeah.
And I come out
were
to...
you in the bathroom when all this was going down?
I was exiting the bathroom when it started, so I will
Okay.
let you go ahead and kind of join from there.
So yeah, we're at my sister and I are at this bar, and this guy comes up to me and starts hitting on me.
Okay.
And insert Brian. That's who it was.
Oh, right on.
Keeping in mind that Amber and Kelsey are standing shoulder to shoulder,
Yeah. Oh, we're standing right next to each other.
and it's very important to know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he starts hitting on me, and I was like, "Sorry, guy, I'm in a relationship."
Yeah.
And he just pivots like, one step over and starts
No,
hitting on my
he
sister.
actually doesn't even lift his feet. The front of his feet, he does. He literally pivots on a 30-degree
Yeah, just-
angle.
Wow.
She's like,
Just
really?
pretty much moved his shoulders. That was it.
She's like, sloppy seconds like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's how I know him.
Oh, that's really crappy. And
Yeah,
actually
that's
now
not
this
good.
kind of brings up a memory, and I believe that you had told him that you were interested in
Yeah.
her.
I
and
had,
Yes.
yes.
And that's
Yes.
why, and that's okay,
Yeah, it's
now I
very
get it.
lowbrow.
Yeah,
Very lowbrow.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, back then, though, to give him credit where it's due, it was, we lived in a world of being thirsty.
Yeah.
So,
You were
you
savages.
seek your opportunities.
As most young men are. We're
Yeah.
savage. Yeah, and that's why
Hey,
we're
women could be like that.
see, there we go. I
Yeah, that
love
brings
that.
up a good
I
point.
love that.
It's
Yo,
not-
this is something I
It's
want
not
to
as
touch
common,
on.
though. It's not as
Yeah.
common, right?
No, you're absolutely
Thirsty
right.
woman is way more rare than a thirsty man because
Yeah.
women have a mindset of abundance. You have options. Guys are throwing at you every.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
seriously.
you also have to keep in mind. I don't know if you know this, and probably not, since I just
Okay.
met you. But I'm bisexual, so
Okay.
like, it's definitely different. It's a different world with women. So I'm usually the more masculine one for some reason. So
Gotcha.
So that brings up a great question that I would love to or that we would love to get deeper on, is from a standpoint, whether it doesn't really matter what gender you're dating, because I honestly don't care about that.
oh, I know.
But-
I don't care.
What is it like being the more masculine person in a relationship? Being that person that is like, I'm going to exude this all the time. Is it overbearing? Like,
I hope
how is it
not.
perceived?
I mean, it's definitely challenging. You have to be careful with it because guys like to be, the dominant one in the relationship. So I
the
try
leader, for
or
sure.
the leader, or
Yep.
however you want to put it. So, but I like a good gentleman. So opening the door and doing
Nice.
all that kind of stuff is
Wow.
always great. So, I may pay the bill, but I try to let the guy lead.
So
That's good.
You say that you pay the bill. Like, how does that? I don't know. I look
touchy.
at yeah.
Touchy. I don't. It's
I look at it from like a standpoint of like I was raised kind of old fashioned in that
correct.
regard.
I know
like
you're pretty traditional.
yeah, very traditional,
So-
to a fault. But like how I just don't know how my wife would look at it and be like, all right, I'm the one picking up the bill, all the time, like, or like you're just ready with the card, right? Like
Well,
it's
and
the
it-
whole
and it's
different for
kinda-
me.
it's kind of rough too because you're at a restaurant.
Mm,
They,
a little
the-
embarrassing.
They always. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is
And they
like,
hand
I
it to the
really-
dude.
Yeah, they usually hand it to the dude.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously I'm going out there and I'm grabbing the bill and I feel I really try to make sure that.
Thank you, but I'm the boss here.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
want him to still feel like the man, because that's sexy, right? Anyway, so yeah, it's a little rough. I
Got you.
usually date very driven, achieving kind of people. This
Okay.
is just my type,
Yeah.
and those people tend to have money. I'm not a gold
Yeah.
digger. I'll put that out there.
Yeah.
But I like people that have ambition and drive. So,
Absolutely. As
man
we
or
all
woman
should.
doesn't
Most
really-
women do.
Yeah. So those types of people typically have a little bit more money.
Yeah.
And so it hasn't really been an issue until lately.
Okay.
We're going to dive into the relationship side.
So
of
so
things.
so you're kind of like in a financial way dating down now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
in a financial
we're
because
still pretty
there's
new.
it doesn't
but
mean that there's other ways that he can
Yeah, redeem himself, if
Yeah.
you will.
Other values
Yeah.
that
And
they
it-
bring
and it
to the
could-
relationship.
he's super thoughtful, very, very
oh
sweet
see
guy.
that's oh there we go.
Um,
Okay.
So he's just, we have the same love language, I guess, if you're into that kind of a
Okay,
thing.
what is the-
quality time?
Quality time.
So we hang out. I
Okay.
mean, he's pretty much at my place all the time, but
Okay. Right on.
Yeah, so I mean that brings up, a great topic that we've, talked about lightly in, previous podcasts, but like, like you're there, you're tentative,
yeah,
at- but
sure.
no, but more importantly, like you're not necessarily loving him, you're loving his heart, right? Of what
Yeah.
of who he is.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
point, Tom.
Yeah. So at that point,
Definitely.
yeah, the monetary aspect, yeah, that's great. And that's going to help out if the fridge breaks or something like that, where you don't have to
Right.
stress over that kind of stuff. But
I think it bothers him more than it bothers me.
well,
There we go.
that
sure
goes
it
into
does.
the
There we go.
ego of a
There we-
dude.
there we go.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
really care.
Mhm.
It's just money.
Well, here's the thing. I mean,
No.
you're a unique use case also because you said you're bisexual, right?
Yeah.
So you've been in relationships with women.
Yeah. I actually was in a relationship with my business partner.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. And so
I wasn't going to bring that
Good
up.
to know.
I was
Good to
letting you
know.
do that.
Years and years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. Okay.
So I would assume when if you're in a relationship with a woman, you're probably the more dominant of the two, right?
Probably, yeah. Especially because I like feminine women,
Right.
which ironically Brooke really isn't. But I don't know. She kind of looks like a Ruby Rose, Justin Bieber kind of
Okay.
mixture.
Right.
I would say.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, typically I like feminine, so they kind of lean on me to be the more masculine one.
Right.
But
So I don't think you have a problem being the more dominant person in a
lesbian
heterosexual relationship either, because you already have that role in your lesbian
right.
relationship.
That's a good point.
So like if you meet a man who isn't that dominant masculine provider and protector, you're okay with that as well.
Yeah.
I think the average woman, the average heterosexual woman, would not be okay with that. right?
Oh, you really?
Oh, absolutely not. I think they would tolerate it for a certain amount of time. And if that guy didn't step his game up in the provider aspect,
peace
I
out.
See, I see
think
what you're
he's
saying.
out, right? And
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet, not to throw any shade on your relationship.
No,
I don't
you're
know
fine.
this guy,
You're
but I'd be willing to bet that there's a time clock on this as well. You're gonna tolerate this guy.
Uh-oh.
Tolerate's a tough word.
Here we go.
So you're gonna
Throw
give
some
you're,
shade.
you're gonna allow you're gonna roll with this relationship for a certain amount of time, but I think at some point you're gonna realize that hey, I'm providing, and I'm doing all of this, and what is it that I'm getting in return?
Well, unless he does something, right? Like,
What is it that he does? That's a good question, right?
like, as in a profession?
Well, no, what is it that draws you to him?
yeah,
His
that
heart.
he does for you.
He was
Yeah,
kinda-
what does he do for you?
Well, like you said, his heart. He really is super caring.
which is awesome that you're
Yeah. It's interesting to me because, I was in a 6-year relationship, a year prior. I feel like whenever you come out of a long-term relationship like that, seems like the person that you date next is like the opposite of the person that you dated before.
Yeah, 'cause
I don't know
yeah.
why it always
Yeah.
goes that. He's
Sure.
pretty much the opposite of my ex.
okay.
Yeah,
It's like
no
the
names need to be
pendulum
inserted.
swinging.
Yeah, I won't put any names out
Yeah.
there, but he's pretty much the opposite.
It's like the compensation, right? The pendulum
Well,
swings.
So the other guy had
Yeah.
little heart.
yeah,
Oh, that guy.
but a huge wallet, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did
very
have a-
cynical.
he did have a big wallet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See how that works though sometimes?
Yeah.
Man, wow.
Yeah.
I don't I'm not going to say all the time.
It's like an overcorrection thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like you miss a piece for so long,
Yeah.
and you're kind of like drawn to.
Yeah, you're
whatever that
striving
is.
for the opposite.
Yeah.
We see that in a lot of things. We see that in politics as well. Look at Barack Obama
Yeah.
overcorrecting to Donald Trump, and it swings the other way. Now we got
Such a
Joe Biden.
big
It's
swing,
crazy.
right?
Yeah, it's
That's a
like
big-
you gotta
One extreme to the other.
You gotta
extreme.
overcorrect in what you're doing. Yeah, so I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
So I just see that a lot. It's something I've noticed, and I try not to do that, but it just Plus, the guy's very attractive. I'm not. I'll just put
okay.
that out there. He
Yeah,
really
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So the sex life is
so
really
like,
good.
So he has a big heart and he's attractive.
yes.
I mean, that's really
yeah, he's
that's
a
really
great,
awesome.
He's a
And
great guy. I wish our
so-
fights weren't about finances. That part's a little.
what are your fights about?
I think Tom, I was kind of touching on this a little bit earlier. It's more he's just one of those people that likes to talk out loud about his issues, and I am a
Is that
very
like
solution oriented person.
Complaining?
I think he's just venting.
So
No,
I feel like
it's
that
venting.
that goes into a lot of that masculinity that we were talking about before, because as what most guys do. I mean, I'm definitely at fault for this. I'm sure DT at points in your life you've been at fault for this as well, where your partner has vocalized an issue, and your first instinct is to fix the
fix
issue instead of actually understanding the basis of the issue, right?
So that's our biggest fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, is usually him venting and me wanting to solve it, and he's like, "I don't need your advice. I just."
Need to vent.
Yeah, he's literally said, "If I want your advice, I'll ask for it." I'm like,
which you got to appreciate
I
that though.
appreciate-
Like
I
he's
mean, 'cause I had-
transparent enough to be confident to say,
Yeah.
hey,
Wait, so he says he doesn't want your advice as far as like solving the issue?
right.
That
And
is
I
so-
don't
That
get
is
that.
such a reversed role there. Like as men, typically we don't vent. We want to solve the problem.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great
know.
point.
Typically,
That's a
it's-
great
I
point.
know.
It's the woman that wants to vent
actually a very
without
great
the
point.
need to have a
I
solution.
totally get it. That's why
Yeah.
that's why I didn't understand.
Right. Like I'm not gonna vent my problems. I want to solve it. Like I'm not gonna sit
Yeah.
there and
let's
you know,
move on from
complain
that, you
about
know? Yeah.
I need a
Absolutely.
solution. I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna fix it. Usually it's the opposite.
I know. So it's very bizarre, but this is something I'm just starting to figure
Yeah.
out. And you know, I vent to
You're filling it out.
Okay.
yeah, well, I vent to Brooke about it a lot too, because you know she's also in a similar relationship.
Which maybe happens because
So-
you guys are, kind of like an alpha female. Like
Yeah.
you get things done, and like
Trying to own their space.
in a way, you almost I don't know. Do you attract the opposite? Do you end up attracting?
Somewhat, yeah,
You
somewhat.
definitely do. Yeah.
That's
you,
kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, I
like,
mean-
attract the opposite.
You could almost, I don't know. I
Can
don't
it be
know any of the
fixed?
facts behind this, so take it for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But like, you could almost look at it from an opportunist standpoint, where they're like, listen, I can steamroll you, and I'm fine with that. You good? We good? But like, I'm gonna get the qualities I want out of you, and whether if it lasts, it lasts. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll see.
It sounds like to me though that he needs for one, he's gonna have to humble himself a little bit.
Right.
That's-
exactly the conversation
really
I
what
had
I'm
the other
getting.
day. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just.
He needs to open up to listen. To some of your okay, maybe to some degree you listen to him.
Right.
And just let him vent or whatever, and then at some point though he needs to listen to, hey, hey
Right.
babe, I've thought about this, and these are some of the things that you can do. But he might need a counselor, man.
Well,
This dude
that's-
needs a counselor, man, because you're not his counselor,
Right,
and he
right.
needs to
Yeah.
stop. And so I
I
think
was gonna tell him that,
so often.
but I don't know. Sometimes people take that offensively.
Well, and this is another thing,
Oh.
and I'm guaranteeing from the way that he sounds, he would get offended if you said that.
That's
which is
exactly
not
right.
good though, because he needs to take a step back, and he needs to. Because I've been there. I to be transparent, I was in a relationship where we talked about like going to counseling, and I was like, I don't need that. But it takes a man to be
agree.
transparent and accountable to be like, yo,
None of us are perfect.
Yeah,
We all need.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
You need to
100%.
talk to a professional, man, and get out some of these things. He's
Right.
probably, I don't know, man. He's probably, how long have you guys been
Oh,
dating?
it's 3 months. It's
Okay.
very, very, very new.
Okay.
But see, when I vent about these things to my friends, they're all kind of like you guys. They all have the same opinion I do. So, but I'd like to hear, somebody that's on the other side.
I think there's something to be said though. Like I'm just basing this on my experience, with my wife. Like if you put yourself out there and you're open to be humbled, like that is a complete game changer.
Vulnerable.
Yeah,
making yourself
100%.
vulnerable. Yeah.
100%.
He needs to make himself more vulnerable.
I think it's a
Right.
maturity thing too.
Yeah, I mean, there's two different types of maturity, and we can kind of get into all that, where you're talking about maturity as like a larger topic or relationship maturity,
Yeah.
which are two different things.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know. I'm not gonna cast any shade because I've
Yeah,
met him. He
sure.
seems like a really nice guy, actually. Like,
Okay.
give him the credit where
Like you said.
where
You actually even texted me, I think, the next day. And
yeah,
you said
yeah.
You
He
paid him a
he's a
compliment.
really genuine guy.
Yeah.
Now, and it's just one of those things. Like, he's a nice guy. I obviously wish the best.
I know you do.
Because I have a vested interest in your happiness.
Of course you do. Yeah.
But yeah, so like if you meet him too, DT, you'd walk away and be like, all right,
Yeah.
this dude, he's a solid dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. So he's something that you can work with, but you guys both have to decide,
Yeah.
that he has to decide that there's, that there's something wrong and he wants to work on it.
I think he knows.
Okay. So that's
Yeah,
good.
I think he knows because we've touched
That's
on
step
it.
number one.
Yeah. So he needs
He gets
to maybe he's broken in some way and he needs to like heal.
Yeah.
You know, if you really get down to like the deep.
I'm still learning him.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep in mind, it's
Yeah.
not like it's been 3 years, it's been 3 months. So,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
you
Yeah.
know, and the dating world is quite interesting. As
It is.
So Amber, like from
we all know.
like an educational standpoint, because I always like to kind of look at this from like, how can you spread the word so people that whether they be in your shoes or maybe they're on the other end, like what kind of message would you send them so they're more understanding or they're more aware of their situation and how either A, they can better it, or B, they can change it, right?
You're talking about like self-awareness?
Yeah, or in terms of whether it be, you know, your relationship or just being, you know.
I'm generally a positive person, so I feel like you keep a positive attitude and, work towards your goals, be ambitious. Like, it's okay to be scared to do things sometimes. Get out of your comfort zone and make that extra step, because I don't even know. I was miserable.
So it's
Whenever I
like
was-
one of those, the rest will follow if you
You'll
take
figure
that
it
step.
out. Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
If it's something you really want to do, whether it's a relationship or it's a business or what have you, like it's just get out of your comfort zone and just do it. So, because a lot, like we said, a lot of people just talk about doing stuff and then they don't, which is a shame because we only have one life. Like,
Yeah.
you might as
There
well,
it is.
do the best that you have with it. So, yeah, I mean, I feel very fortunate. I was in a pretty good situation, but still, I mean, the company I worked at before, we won't name names. I was pretty miserable.
Yeah, we'll keep that out.
So
Yeah.
I voiced that I was miserable. And I'm like, you know what? This just isn't where I'm meant to be.
But
So,
it's like if you want growth, you have to embrace being uncomfortable,
absolutely.
because that's how you
100%.
get growth, man.
Well, a lot of people just get stuck.
Well, because they don't want to be uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Like I'm so comfortable.
yeah,
you know?
it's just not.
And sometimes you got to let some things go.
Yeah.
You can't really, get what you're supposed to get if you're holding on to all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like you don't have your hands open to get
Yeah,
the
being
new stuff.
receptive.
Yeah. So you got to kind of let go of some of the stuff. Like if you want change, you got to start changing things. You got to start letting things go. And it's a process. Like
Yeah,
nothing's-
you have to be your motivator.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, nobody's
Yes.
gonna do things for you. So.
Absolutely. Yep. And she's a get stuff done kind
Right,
Oh, yeah.
right.
Oh,
Kinda
yeah,
chick,
she's a
man.
boss.
Yo,
They call it
how
boss
cool
bitch.
is that though?
I
Like,
should get a shirt that says boss bitch.
yo, just
Really?
imagine.
I want a shirt next time I'm here.
Right on. We got to remember
I will
that.
Have you I will
Boss
have a shirt
bitch.
for you next time you're here.
Is there something up with this mic? Can you guys hear me? Okay.
I can hear you
yeah.
just
Okay,
fine.
something's up here. Oh, there it goes. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's a little slight adjustment.
Okay.
But yeah, man. Wow, that's interesting though.
Yeah, but it's the only thing I know is to be motivated.
What if you met somebody else? Think about this. I mean, hopefully he can grow into this as well. But just imagine like someone else with your drive.
like a power? That's the relationship I
and-
was in.
Okay.
So
But with a heart.
yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
I'd say he still had.
Would you say you have a big heart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
so.
think, but the thing is like him and I were so similar that we just ended up being really good friends.
True. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
roommates.
Yeah,
That's what
we're
happens.
pretty
Yeah.
much
Somebody has to
like I think so,
be the opposite.
they say
huh?
opposites attract.
Yeah.
There's a reason people say that. So
Yeah.
Well, somebody has to be the dominant. Right?
Yeah.
Somebody has to be the actual leader.
Mm.
I don't believe in
are
this.
you the leader in your relationships?
I would be
I
if
feel
I
like
had
you-
if I had a relationship, I would be the leader.
Yeah.
But I'm single right now, so I
How's
I'm,
that going? How's
I'm not
single
leading
life?
anybody. Single life's great. You know,
Are you dating?
I am dating. And there are there are a couple of young ladies who are vying for my leadership, and I'm like,
There you
"Yeah,
go.
listen, you know what?
Nice.
I'm not there right now. I've done it. I'm enjoying my single life.
As you should. You should take a little
Singleness.
bit of time. Yeah.
But so yeah, I think naturally somebody has to be the leader, right? I don't agree with the whole 50-50 relationship sort of thing. I think roles are important. I think understanding who leads is important. Otherwise, things get confusing, right? You don't have those set roles. You don't have that hierarchy. Not saying that anyone's better than anyone else or anyone's role is more important than anyone else, but I do think there should be one leader, and in a relationship, and I think that benefits most relationships. One leader in the household, one leader in a company. The whole 50-50, we do everything together, joint. That's kind of like a new and confusing prospect, in my opinion. I don't think it really.
You just end up being roommates.
Yeah, it's virtually a
That's
business
exactly
structure,
what it
is what
is.
it is.
Well, it's not going to be, from what I'm gathering, it's not going to be 50-50. And I don't think it's going to take communication, and it's going to take both of you to identify your strengths and your weaknesses, because she might lead in some areas,
right? That's exactly what I was
he has to
say.
be, and he might lead in some other areas.
Yeah, like he brings to the table a lot of the things I don't.
So you guys, if you guys can identify your strengths and weaknesses, make a list.
Well, being vulnerable enough to talk about them.
He has to be vulnerable and say, okay, I am weak at this.
Well, and then not only that, being like the masculine one in the relationship, if you want to call it that, she needs to be just as vulnerable too.
Yeah,
put the ego to the side.
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely, man. And I think that's really how you do it. You lead in different areas. Like, there's not just like I'm the leader, you do what I say.
Right.
Because that's why you guys have come together, because man needs woman needs man. And then you guys,
woman needs woman.
We are equal.
Woman needs woman. Okay.
But we are
much different kind of relationship.
We are literally created equal, man. And
right.
We have to. When we come together, we become a team. And you have to be intentional and have these direct conversations that are uncomfortable, that are going to create growth. And we need to figure that out now. Like, are we going to focus on our strengths and weaknesses and move forward?
Oh, I don't like wasting my time.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, and that's why you might have to have that intentional, uncomfortable conversation.
That's pretty good advice.
Yeah, I mean that goes into
I'll take that with me. Yeah, I appreciate
definitely.
that. That's pretty good advice.
Yeah. That goes into with what you said earlier. We only live one life. You need to make the best of it. So,
and I'm not getting younger.
Yeah, exactly.
We all getting older, girl.
Time.
We getting old.
Yeah.
We getting old.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome though, man. I love when we can, like, this is what it's about too, is what I believe is multiple perspectives create growth. And we need that. We need to be
build
open.
each other up.
Yeah.
And that's part of the issue is like I'm trying to solve his problems because I'm trying to build him up, make him a better person. I want him to be successful and and all these kinds of things.
I know, but it can get so tricky when we try to do that. We got to be really delicate with that, because I mean, I think, and I've been here, I've been there as well. It's like when you plug too much into somebody,
they
and
tone out,
and they'll just start taking. So you gotta, it's really on you to make sure you create that boundary.
Oh, I know.
So just keep that in mind. Be mindful that you don't plug too much, until he's actually intentional in plugging.
Well, and I don't want him
put
to
so much
dependent on me either.
Right. Don't put so much into his potential.
There we go.
Like that happens way too often, where a woman,
for sure,
or even a man will put way too much in the potential of their partner,
and then you just get let down and you get disappointed.
Well,
so.
I think the big takeaway there is to genuinely make them accountable for what they say they're going to do, right? So, if they say that they're going to do this, this, and this, well, you hold them to that standard, right? I feel like that's super important to do.
Yes, I like that.
Because then you're not preaching the word to them day in and day out, and they're becoming deaf to what your word is, right? Your message.
Yeah.
If they say they're going to do something.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
This goes back to my previous point of there being a time clock, right? If you right, like if you don't live up to what it is that you say you're going to do or what I expect of you, chances are it's gonna, that's it. It's not gonna work out. Right.
So we all are on a potential time clock in any type of
everybody is,
as well. It's like, and there's certain areas that I need you to step up in. If you're not stepping up, then hey, we gotta have that intentional conversation.
Right. And it's on to the next.
Yeah, we gotta go.
That,
maybe
that
not
even applies to me.
On to the next, but
that's the thing.
Take your time.
Here's the thing: we're all driven people, right?
Yeah.
So.
I know. So it's interesting having this conversation with you guys.
Right.
I wish I had somebody of his personality that could plug in some some thoughts here.
Yeah, we're gonna do what we say we're going to do
Absolutely.
because we're driven.
Right.
That's
to
my
do
biggest
that.
pet peeve,
So
actually.
there's no time
Yeah.
clock for us
Wow.
because we're
We're gonna do it.
we're the doers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We put that stipulation on other people.
Yeah.
Are you doing what you need to do?
Yeah.
Nope.
You
Nope.
own your actions.
Get yourself around
Yeah.
a bunch of doers, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty dope.
Absolutely.
That's pretty dope right
We should
there,
have like
man.
conventions or something. How fun would that be?
Yo, who knows what we're
The
who knows what
doers
we're
doing a
capable
panel.
of, man? You know, we're
The
capable of.
Doers Convention.
Yo,
Doers 2023.
I think this is
Coming
really
next
part
year.
of finding your tribe that you can work with. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what
Finding
I've
your
started.
why.
Your why, but
Yeah.
your tribe. You know, like we are a tribe, and I feel like to some degree, we can count on each other.
I'm
and
surprised this is the first time you and I have met.
yeah, me too. That is interesting.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Where you been hiding this guy?
Yeah, where you been hiding this guy?
Yeah, tucked away. Tucked away. Actually, I can't even say that I was hiding him. I think John was hiding him.
Yeah, I think this guy would have been dangerous. A couple years ago.
Yeah, he had
Oh,
came
really?
through
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have this same perspective. A bunch of traumatic things happened to me to put me here.
He's got some
Yeah.
stories
So
to tell.
yeah,
let me tell
so
you.
but I'm thankful.
Yeah.
When we go back to gratitude, man. So like man, but this is fun, man. I'm really like, yo, she is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you guys,
Amber-
you guys have told
Amber's
me,
great.
they've told me so much great things about you, man.
Oh,
So,
I'm-
like it's really cool,
Oh,
man.
that makes my
Yeah.
heart feel good.
But you can tell
that.
people by like, and that's what another thing I've been really focused on lately, man, is you can tell people by their connections. Like I went to the tattoo shop yesterday and I stopped by.
you get
and-
more ink.
Well, I'm gonna be getting some more ink. Yeah.
I'm curious. I see all your tattoos.
Yeah,
so-
well, I'm gonna be getting some more.
Like, where are you gonna put it?
Well, I got plenty of
On his
room.
butts?
Yeah. What is it called? The perennial gland? No,
Oh,
jeez.
all right, all
I'm
right,
just
all right.
I'm just joking, man. I'm just joking.
On your gooch.
Oh my god, I haven't heard that term in a long time.
But I stopped by the shop, man, and every time I go by there, this tattoo artist that I've been going to I went to him when I was really young, and then I hadn't had a tattoo in like 15 years, and I just recently went back to him. But a lot of my friends and people have gone to him, and every time I go in there, he's tattooing somebody that I know.
Oh,
Yesterday,
wow.
he was tattooing a guy I used to play football with. And shout out to his shop. It's called Ink Fink. His name is Muka, man. He's freaking
I was just
awesome
gonna ask
tattoo
you. I need
artist.
to get one covered up.
Oh
so.
yeah, dude, he's great.
Where's he located at?
North Del Mabry. Inside, there's a primetime
Tampa.
sports bar.
Yep.
He's inside that same plaza.
Okay.
In the corner.
What's his
Yeah. His name is Muka. Mucca. He's been on the
Is he, like,
scene for
Hawaiian?
years. I think he's Mexican.
Okay.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, Muka. Sorry. but yeah, every time I go in there, and what I realized is, this is my point. I'm gonna bring it home. He has a big heart, and all the people that he go to, I have a big heart. So all the people I see that he's tattooing, they had a big heart. This guy yesterday that I used to play football with, he was a hard worker, man. He had a lot of heart. Like he trained really, really hard, and he's connected to a lot of the friends that I have that had big hearts in sports.
Right.
Because we were the smaller guys that had to work really, really hard.
You were the smaller.
I was a smaller guy. I was
How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot now, but back then I was like, as a freshman, I was like 5'5", 105 pounds.
Oh wow.
And I had to work like really, really hard. So, as I became a senior, I was like 170 pounds, like 6 foot. But, and then when I graduated, went to college, that's when I started putting some size on and stuff. But these were the guys that were for like the Davids going up against the Goliaths.
Right.
And now I look at it and I'm like, man, know what it was? They all had huge hearts, and they still do to this day. So like, I'm like, man, that's really what it's all about is the heart, man. That's what we're talking about, man.
Well, and kind of like with with Amber over here, like having that heart, but more importantly, having that ethic, right? Yeah.
There you
So-
go. Yeah, you got to have that as well.
Because without that ethic, you ain't gonna
Yeah.
have that drive, which
Yeah.
is kind of the
Yeah.
basis of what I've took from what you were just saying, right?
Absolutely.
So you got to have that motivation, that ethic, that work, that
Yeah.
heart. It's important, because without that, I mean, what are you? You're just filling space, right?
Pretty
Well,
much.
I guess
Yeah.
that's a great thing to look at. Like, does he have ideas, and does he execute?
So it's interesting.
But does he execute?
So he has a lot of ideas. I keep hearing about. One thing.
Have you ever storyboarded his ideas?
He's got some good ideas. Like the guy, he's definitely like a blue collar kind of a guy, but
Okay.
he's got some talent.
Yeah.
And like, put that to work.
Yeah.
Like he's like, well, you're inspiring me to start my own thing, and I can do this, and I can
Yeah.
do that. I'm like, we'll do it.
Yeah, you can't be scared. you have to take
there
the
you
step.
go.
So-
there it is. Take that idea and execute
Yeah, materialize it.
right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And if he can't do that, you know,
I mean, I haven't known him that long, so
yeah.
So maybe I'm hoping he'll execute on
Yeah.
some of it. So, so
I
we'll
think it's important to
see.
be positive, right? Being that positive influence. Like
Yeah.
if he's
can be
already
pretty
telling you
pessimistic,
3 months
so-
in that hey, you are making his eyes open
Yeah.
up to a particular something that
wow.
he was potentially scared of doing before.
Right. Yep.
Hell, I got to say, I mean, that's props to you on a big level, right?
For real.
Because
For real.
for you to like start shifting that mindset that people are not really open to right away, man, like
You're a force.
yeah, for
You're a
real,
force,
it's
man.
strong.
I just want to help the guy. I want to see him
Because you have a
grow
big heart.
and I want him to be successful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope
There's a lot of potential with this right now.
I think so. I
But
said, I don't like to
Careful
waste my
that
time.
potential.
Careful
Like
with
Chris-
that potential, like I said, but
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing, like you said, it's a new relationship. It's only been 3 months, so
Yeah.
we don't know.
Yeah, there's
right?
just not enough meat
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, there's
yet.
not enough
Yeah.
data there
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
to
There's
really
not enough
judge
data
the
there.
guy and say, he's not gonna do it. Maybe he will do it 6 months from now or a year from now, whatever. It's hard work to start a business and to be an
It
entrepreneur.
is.
So the fact,
It
like
is.
Tom said, the fact that he recognizes that he wants to do these things and you've inspired him to do that, give him some time. I totally agree. Give him some time. But there's
start-
a time clock.
But
There's
like
a time. So wait, it's starting now. So we got.
you're on the clock,
It
bro.
depends
No.
on.
We got 6
Here's the
months
thing.
to see
No,
some
it
movement.
depends on how big your heart is. Your time clock might be
Yeah.
3 years. Another woman's time clock might be 10 years. Or some other woman might be like, you know what? If you don't do this in 3 weeks, we're done. So it depends on.
I need
how-
something this afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. So it depends on how you feel about the guy, what your circumstances. I'm not. No, there's no 100% like answer to this.
Yeah.
You do what you feel is right. You know what I'm saying? And if you feel like this is a great guy and you want to pursue something
Yeah.
with it, go for it.
Well, I identify the steps that it's going to take for him to get going in the right direction, and have him just take one step at a time. Like
Right.
one small step. That's it.
I mean, we're working on that. He
Yeah.
just started a new job that's a lot better than what he
Beautiful.
was doing. So
That's so cool, man.
So that's good.
Right
His
on.
health insurance, that's a plus.
Yo, that's
And I don't
Yeah.
think he's had health insurance for 10 years, but
incredible.
said
man.
it's really
Yeah.
important to
There we
have.
go.
Utilize that,
So yeah, I feel like he's going in the right direction. But
Right
you know
on.
what? My ex he's a very successful guy.
Mhm. He's the
there's-
CEO of a company, right?
He's actually my client. So,
Yeah.
Nice.
but he didn't just get there out of nowhere.
I mean, he put his
So-
work in, that's for sure.
He definitely did. But he inspired me a lot
Mm-hmm.
because when I met him, I was in kind of a
You were in a weird
low,
spot.
I was in a low point, and he always told me to be a better person, and he drove me to do that. I mean, I did it on my own, but it was
Yeah.
nice having the
Guidance.
guy and support, and so I
Yeah.
feel like he did that for me. I'm in a way paying it forward, and I
Okay.
want to
Really
do that
are.
for him. So
Yeah.
Just know that there is kind of like a boundary there, right? You don't want to
Right.
push someone so hard that they
well,
push away from you.
That's the issue now. So
Yeah.
so I'm trying to figure out that balance of like, all right, when's
Yeah.
enough?
Yeah.
Because I like to
What do you like?
tip my foot in the water and like challenge things,
Keep the
and
needle going.
some people don't like that. So I don't know, kind of speak my mind, and we'll see. So
So awesome, man. Thank you for sharing all that with
it.
us, and I think other people, when they hear other people be transparent, it's going to help them as
I'm sure
well.
I'm not the only one that's had these thoughts.
Exactly.
So,
So
I mean,
it-
that's
so
kind of the whole point, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So when we open up, it makes other people open up, and it makes them become conscious to some things that they might.
Self-awareness. Yeah.
Self-awareness. There it
Yeah,
is.
if we can inspire one person
That's it.
to sit down with their partner or in whatever way, shape, or form
Yep.
to say, hey, here's where I'm vulnerable, at.
Yep.
And you know, where are you at with this? Like,
How can we help each other?
Yeah,
can we
how are
build
you
each
going to
other
make
up?
me a better person?
Wow.
Right.
You know, like,
Wow.
I feel like, you know, if we can do that, like, just inspire one person to do that, one couple, hopefully a lot more than
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
but,
for sure. It's going to happen.
You know,
This is great what you guys are doing, and
Thank you
just
so much.
Trying to inspire people and to live better lives, and I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Be better.
the point. Yeah, just be better.
I think that's what it started off
Be-
as. It was
be
like
better,
do
do better.
It was like the do better.
Do better, yeah.
But then we came to Better Gents.
Yeah, it's such a better name.
Yeah, I love it, man.
is that what it's called?
it was
Yeah,
supposed
Better
to be
Gents
like
that.
podcast.
It's supposed to be like Do
Better
Better Podcast or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Or
But
Be
then
Better.
we came to Better Gentlemen, and then we cut it down to Better Gents.
because it rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah,
It does.
dude.
It does.
Yeah.
Like Kenny,
Kenny.
Nice, nice.
it just rolls off the tongue.
You guys can call me Kenny forever. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, do the ladies call you Chris?
Well, I introduced myself as Chris.
I would
mean,
think
that's-
so.
Yeah, but no, my closest friends call me Kenny.
Yeah,
Kenny Kravitz. I love it, dude. I love it, man.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. You can catch all of our episodes on YouTube and Spotify at Better Gents Podcast, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Better Gents Pod. Thank you and take care.